Good morning, children. Welcome you all to our today's English class. On crossing a haunted and old house, what will be your feel? Will you feel afraid or will you feel enthusiastic to enter the house? Though we have a kind of fear, we would like to enter the house and we would like to verify what is there inside the house. Yes, our today's topic is the house on Elm Street. It is filled with a kind of mystery. What is happening inside the house is not known to anyone. Such a poem we are going to see today. The House on Elm Street, which is written by Nadia Bush. Before going to the poem, let's have a look at the poet and her biography. The House on Elm Street was published by Nadia Bush, a budding poetess, in April 2017. Nadia Bush was born on September 24. She lives in Somerset, in Pennsylvania. She loves the movie Paranormal Activity. TRVL channel's Ghost Adventures is one of her favorite programs. She has a pet cat and perhaps her lifestyle makes her pen means write. Her lifestyle makes her write such a mysterious poem about the darkness when it was given as an assignment for her. Let's move to the first stanza of the poem. The House on Elm Street by Nadia Bush. It sat alone. What happened there is still today unknown. It is a very mysterious place, and inside you can tell it has a ton of space, but at the same time it is bare to the bone. The first line, it sat alone. Here it denotes the house. The house sat alone without any house nearby. What happened there is still today unknown. What is happening inside the house is not known to anyone. It seems to be strange and it seems to be secretive. It is a very mysterious place. The house, which seems to be a very strange place, and inside you can tell it has a ton of space, but at the same time it is bare to the bone. On seeing the outer appearance of the house, we could guess that inside the house it has a lot of space. The house is vast and spacious, but at the same time we can feel the emptiness of the house, like bare to the bone. Bare means emptiness. The inner part of the house, like bone, it doesn't have any valuable content inside. In this stanza, there are two figures of speech. In the first line, it sat alone. It refers to the house. The house has given the human quality sitting. So, house is personified here since the figure of speech used here is personification. Same way, in the fourth line, synecdoche is used. The figure of speech synecdoche is used. Synecdoche is a figure of speech in which a part is made to represent the whole or vice versa, which means a part of activity or a quality which represent the whole thing. Here in the fourth line, inside the house is vast alone mentioned in the poem, but by denoting the line mysterious place, we could guess that not only inside the house, like inside the house, the entire house is very vast and spacious, ton of space. So, the figure of speech synecdoche is used here. We shall move to the second stanza now. At night, the house seems to be alive. Lights flicker on and off. I'm often tempted to go to the house to just have a look and see what is really about, but fear takes over me. Here in this second stanza, the poet explains that during night, the house seems to be lively. At night, the house seems to be live and she could feel a kind of movement inside the house. Lights flicker on and off. Lights used to blink on and off. I'm often tempted to go to the house. The poet says that she is stimulated or motivated or interested to go to the house often, to just have a look and see what is going on inside the house. She has an interest to know what is really happening inside the house. When she is thinking of entering the house, her fear takes over her. Her fear forbids her from entering the house. In this stanza, in the second line, onomatopoeia is the figure of speech which is used here. Lights flicker on and off. When we are uttering lights flicker on and off, we could get the feel how the light used to blink. Hence the figure of speech used here is onomatopoeia. Let's see the third stanza now. I drive past the house almost every day. The house seems to be a bit brighter on this warm summer day in May. It plays with your mind. To me, I say, it is one of a kind. Almost every day. Every day, the poet used to cross the house. But now, as it is summer day, the sun is warm, he could see the house is getting a little brighter. For the poet, it seems that it is playing with his mind. To herself, she says that it's a kind of play that the house which is playing with the poet. It changes its faces often. At night one face, in the morning one face, and on summer day it shows its another face. So it seems to be all strange for the poet. We are going to see the fourth stanza of the poem now. Beside the house sits a tree. It never grows leaves, not in the winter, spring, summer or fall. It just sits there, never getting small or ever growing tall. How could this be? The poet says that there is a tree sitting near the house. The tree which is not growing leaves in any season. The seasons like the winter, spring, summer or fall. In all these seasons, it is not at all growing any leaf at all. It just sits there. The tree is sitting near the house without getting small or growing tall. How could this happen? He just leaves this answer to the reader's knowledge. There are three figures of speech in this poem. In the first line, the house sits a tree. Beside the house sits a tree. Sits a tree. Here, tree is personified by giving the quality of a sitting, human quality, sitting. So it is personification. And in the fourth line, it just sits there. Again, it sits. Personification. The tree is sitting, so it is personified. The figure of speech is personification. In the same line, another figure of speech is there. Never getting small or ever growing tall. Getting small, growing tall. Two contradictory ideas are mentioned there. So the figure of speech used here is paradox. And in the last line of this stanza, how could this be? It is the question which is posted to the readers. It is called rhetorical question, which will never expect any particular answer, but according to the choice of the reader, answer can be. Such a question is called a rhetorical question. So in the fifth line, there is a figure of speech which is rhetorical question. Now we shall see the last stanza of the poem. Rumors are constantly being made, and each day the house just begins to fade. What happened inside that house? I really don't know. I guess it will always be a mystery. Rumors. Rumors means some false talk. False talks are being made by the people, those who are crossing the house. They are speaking that each day the house just begins to fade. It started fading. What happened inside that house? I really don't know. Though they are speaking a lot about the house, I'm not sure what is happening inside the house. Really, I don't know. I guess it will always be a mystery. The house remains a mystery for me forever. With this note, the poet concludes the poem. The house is all alone. It seems to be mystery. There is no one to get into the house. Though the poet has the wish to enter the house, fear forbids her. And then there is a tree near the house which is not growing tall or getting small. And then about the house also, rumors are being made, even though the poet is not sure what is happening inside the house, which makes the poet feels that the house seems to be the mystery now and forever. Thank you for watching.